Feels like recent history with the Carolina rivalry. Whenever Carolina wins, the story can be summarized as big man has big game. With Armando Bacot still on the team, how crucial is DJ, Greg, and Ernest's play going to have to be this weekend?
Well, first of all, Bacot is playing outstanding basketball. I mean, he is. He's been that way for a lot of years. He's still there. And, he's a double-double machine waiting to happen. I think 20 and 16 the last game, if I'm not mistaken. He's tough. He's a tough matchup for anybody in the country, and we've got to really do a good job on him and keeping him off the glass. And I think the identity of this particular Carolina team is that they're going inside to him more. They're running their offense through him more, getting him going early, and then those guards obviously are good enough to take over the game late. So we got to do a great job.
Yeah, Coach, you've done a good job with limiting offensive rebounds with the other team, but Tech had 15 or 16 the other night. Just how important will that be? Not just Bacot, but the other guys.
Yeah, Chip, we've done a great job. I thought on the year, and at Georgia Tech, I have no idea what happened. They really dominated us on the offensive glass, and we've done a really good job. We're playing arguably against the best rebounding guy in the country, and we got to do a really good job. And it's not just our post guys; it's got to be everybody. It's got to be a team effort. You got to block him out. We got to do a good job of also protecting him with ball pressure, not let them throw the ball inside to him easy. I mean, he's the only guy that certainly he's capable of scoring and can score anytime he touches the ball. But he gets his own misses back a lot, which is tough.
Is EB going to be available?
EB will be a game time decision.
Kevin, you guys got a lot of momentum heading into this game. How nice is it to have the head of steam and playing the way you guys are heading into a rivalry game?
It's good. I mean, we have played really good basketball in this 4-game stretch. I think ever since Clemson game, we've had a wake-up call, and I think we've become a very defensive-minded team. Sure, we can score the basketball, but I think we've done all of the little things, and I've had a lot of guys who are stepped up and played their roles and done a great job of it. But we just got to continue to get better. I like where our team's at now. I like how hard we're working. I like the growth that I've seen in this team.
Yeah, have you guys had a little extra step in practice leading up to this one? I know it's the next game, but it is a little bit more than the next game.
We'll have an extra step. Our extra step was after Clemson. We just wasn't tough enough, and we worked every game to get better. And these games it's so much quick turnaround now. You got to stay focused and try to stay in a routine as much as you can.
Is there something in practice you've been working on specifically on the offensive side of the ball to prepare for this game individually? I know you mentioned rebounding being a key, but maybe the pick and roll, 3-point shooting. I mean, is there something that you really want the team to focus on?
Well, they do such a great job of getting out in transition. They're electric in transition. They score in bunches. They get a lot of offensive rebounds. Davis is playing great basketball. Love is very capable going off. And so, I think the biggest thing that we're focused on is just trying to stay solid and not giving up touchdowns. That's, you give up an easy basket or you turn the ball over and they turn it into 2 or 3 points really quick.
As many guys as you have that you brought in from other schools and are from around here, do you have to explain to them what this rivalry playing Carolina is about, or do they kind of understand the whole dynamic of this?
Yeah, Brey, we've focused on more here's a great opportunity again. We have another quad 1 opportunity in front of us, not to diminish the proximity and who we're playing in Carolina or when we play Duke. But we talk about, hey, here's an opportunity. Here's a really good basketball team. Here's what you got to focus on. I think our team handles stuff better instead of us talking about more of history than right in the moment stuff.
These kids are out talking to their classmates and they're out there. Do you think they understand, or do they kind of grasp the history and that this is just a little bit more to other people than just another game?
No, absolutely. I mean, we're so close, and we got good programs close by you, and you get a chance to play them, and you're all in the ACC, and you compete in the ACC, and the history of the traditions and everything else. Of course, they know. I mean, they listen, they talk. A lot of these guys have grown up playing against each other in AAU, and the rivalry. They know when they go to Carolina, or they go to Duke, or they go to NC State, that obviously these opportunities will present themselves.
Are you worried at all about DJ Burns getting into foul trouble going up against a guy like Armando Baycott? Have you told him anything? Just hey, kind of play a little safer, or
No,
what's necessary?
I worry about DJ Burns getting in foul trouble against everybody. And I'm not saying that. I do. We're, without Dusan and obviously EB's situation, it's even more you worry about it, because obviously you could be limited in the front court. But every game we go into, I'm saying, hey, stay out of foul trouble. Do a good job of staying out of foul trouble. So yeah, am I worried? Yes, but that's not atypical of what's going on.
You talk about the growth of the team this year. Where have you seen the biggest growth in the team? Has it been on defense or elsewhere?
I think it's understanding roles. I think when we lost Dusan and then Jack Clark, I didn't know how we would respond to that. Jack Clark's a pick and pop 4-man that can make shots, and we don't have him on our roster again. And so I think that when you look at EB and you look at Greg Gann and you look at Ernest Ross, we've been able to win games with those guys, doing it a little different than if Jack Clark played. Reason being is they came in and played a different role, defensive-minded role, a rebounding role, kind of a toughness man role. And I think the growth of this team is understanding who needs the shots, who needs the rebounds, how do you score. Defensively, I can always point to, I think we're very effective defensively. In our 4-game winning streaks, I think 3 of those games we were really good defensively. One of them against Miami, I didn't. I just think we scored more than they did.
Slightly off topic, Mike Brey, the Notre Dame has announced he's going to be stepping down after the season is over. Do you have any kind of fun memories or stories of him and your relationship with him and his tenure at Notre Dame?
Well, I don't have time to give you the memories of Mike Brey. You see that all the time. What I would say about him is he's genuine. He's been great for our league. When I was assistant at Louisville, we were both in the Big East. I do remember, I don't know if it was 4 or 5 overtime game that we had against those guys, and we were all over there pissed off because it was going overtime, and Mike Brey was jumping up and down, excited about it. And what a great pioneer for our sport. We're missing another great, not just a great coach in general, but the ACC is going to lose another great coach. But I'm excited for him that he's being able to go out his way and to enjoy the rest of what's ever in front of him.
Coach, you mentioned guys stepping up into their roles,
Yeah.
but then you've had guys that have had to deal with adversity. How helpful have they been in staying involved in keeping your team to reach the success they've had? So guys like Dusan.
We've been able to, so far in our season, handle distractions well, and typically you don't get that. I think some of that is the maturity of our guys, with what's going on, and even guys like Dusan, even though he's out, they're still giving to the team. He's in practice and his voice is loud, and having an older point guard in Jarkel Joyner, I think sometimes we don't talk about him enough. But I think it's his leadership on and off the court, and being able to be that big brother beside Taquavion has really helped him a lot. I think all of that stuff has paid off, and just having some maturity when at times in college basketball you can be really young. I think having some guys who are a little bit older makes a big difference in some adversity that you may go through.
You mentioned Jarkel. The other day, Steve Forbes was talking about Tyree Appleby and how he noticed how the other kids were gravitating toward him right away and knew he was going to be a leader. Did you kind of see that with Jarkel, and how long did it take for that to happen?
I think you guys have had a chance to talk to him. He's a tremendous personality. He's a great old, good country guy. I mean, I think it started off when we were in Bahamas and we were out, and he jumped out there with his socks on. I think you knew at that point this guy was a little bit different than what we're used to. But a great personality. He's got the biggest heart I've ever seen. He cares for people. And I think that's one of the reasons why our guys really like him. Great personality. Very seldom do you get a guy who can lead on the court and off the court. I think he's one of those guys, because everybody gravitates to him. But on the court, he leads by example by how hard he plays. He should get a lot of credit for the defense we play because he's at the point of attack all the time on the defensive end.
DJ's minutes are pretty high right now. Is he holding up pretty well?
I'm trying to get him down to 16. I can't figure it out.
The way he's scoring, trying to get him down to 16?
16 minutes is what I want. It's, you know, it was so different when we went to Georgia Tech. I'm telling you, I had combinations out there that we had never played before, that we'd never had in practice, and we practiced playing Casey a little bit as a fourth guard, as a, you know, kind of that combo forward, if you may. But you know, DJ's really more effective if we can get him 25 or less minutes, maybe 27. But if you ask him, he thinks he can play 40. So what difference does it make? You know, that's the only thing he and I disagree on. We agree on a lot of things. He thinks he can play 40. I think he's better at 25, maybe 27 on a good night.
Has Dusan been able to run in any?
He hasn't been in practice at all. He's still under the care of the trainer. He is progressing, but just not ready to play.
Has he gotten on his feet yet or running any?
He's on his feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how much running, Chip, but he's on his feet. Yeah. He's walking around.
Okay,
Yeah.
just walking around.
He's
not
walking
running around.
Not running around.
And Jack Clark is still just indefinite?
Yeah, Jack's an indefinite. Jack is one of those situations where it could be 3 days, it could be 2 weeks. It's anytime you deal with the groin or hamstring, it doesn't take but one bad movement to set you back a little bit. Just there are those type of injuries kind of bother you a little bit. So, you know, maybe we'll start him on Saturday or tomorrow. Maybe yeah.
I'll just ask LJ's progression thus far, and what are you trying to look from him in order to take the next step in that progression, other than just obviously game experience?
Yeah, I love the fact that LJ is starting to get better and more comfortable. It's really tough as a freshman to be able to play in the ACC or college basketball. I think he's making some big strides. You know, one of the things that is tough for freshmen is getting out on the floor and not blowing defense assignments. But he's had some great minutes for us. You know, in the last 4 games, we've been able to develop our bench a little bit more, you know, with Ernest and, you know, sometimes Greg and then now LJ. And hopefully, you know, we can continue to get him better. And we want to see a little bit more and continue to work to help try to get Brey on a little bit more minutes, because as we go down the stretch, I would like to have a few more subs for both T and Jarkel.